Good morning, people. What's going on today? Today is Thursday, November the 17th, 2016 at 9:25 a.m. Central Standard Time. It is 69 top down degrees in Central Texas, USA. I'm on Park Road 4 headed east. And my name is Rusty. This is Rusty 78609, one of the most popular channels ever on YouTube. Get more views than any other than the top 10 channels combined. And if you believe that, have I got a deal for you? But it's going to be a warm day today in Central Texas because we have a little cool front coming through tomorrow, and before every cool front, it always warms up. So it'll be a little warm day. Warm in the sense that it'll probably be in the low 80s. And then on the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the highs are going to be in the mid to low 60s, and the lows will be in the mid to low 30s, which for this part of the world, folks, is cool. But to me, it's very comfortable. And you want to hear a good joke? Oh, I thought of one this morning when I got up. I used to go drinking beer years ago in the 1980s with a fella named Joe. Well, just call him Joe. But he was the publisher of the Shiner Gazette in Texas, which is a little town. They got Shiner Brewery there. It used to be owned by the Spetzel family. But anyway, Joe was the publisher of the Shiner Gazette, and he also sold products to newspapers for a group called Palmer Paper Company, which was a different deal. But he had a weekly newspaper called the Shiner Gazette, and he was a character, man. I've met some characters, and he was one of them. I liked old Joe. We were good friends. And he could drink that beer and play that accordion. He could play an accordion, squeeze box. And could tell jokes. Most of them were corny as hell. When you hear this one, I'll verify it. But anyway, it goes like this. Well, back in the early 1900s and late 1800s, there were medicine shows that would go around selling cure-alls with a variety of different names. But and those carried over for years and years and years. In fact, until the 1960s, or 70s actually, there was a product called Carter's Little Liver Pills that actually had that did nothing for your liver. And they finally, the Food and Drug Administration put them out of business. But they didn't have any of that back in the late 1800s and the early 1900s. In fact, Coca-Cola at one time actually contained cocaine. That's where it got its name. And the reason people drank it was because, of course, it was for medicinal purposes only, but they did, and they'd get a nice little buzz, and they'd get addicted to it. So Coca-Cola had some locked-in customers. They still do. And but anyway, this is golly, my camera fell off. I didn't have a wreck. My camera fell off. Has it ever done that before? Yeah. Does it make me mad? Yeah. Anything I can do about it? Yeah. What it is, sometimes when you fasten it to the dash with the little sticky thing, it's got a little thing, a plunger that you kind of sucks the air out and pulls it to the dash, and if it doesn't hook up all the way. But anyway, we're back to the medicine shows and jokes and stuff. Joe Strauss, publisher, Shiner Gazette, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, in the 1950s, there was a product called Hadacol. And Hadacol was one of those cure-alls that was, whatever you had. They had words like lumbago and stuff like that, and anything with the liver it cured. I mean, it was a cure-all from hell. But what they did to promote their product over the radio, they did what they call man in the street interviews. And they would ask somebody if they'd used their product and what the results were and all that sort of thing. But anyway, this is one of those deals. This was a man in the street interview that occurred in Shreveport, Louisiana in 1955, approximately. They stopped a gentleman on the street and they said, "Sir, have you ever tried Hadacol?" He said, "Oh, yes, I have. Oh, I certainly have." And they said, "Well, what was your problem and what were the results?" He said, "Well, my problem was I was hard of hearing. I could barely hear, and I drank one bottle of Hadacol, and the next day I heard from my brother in Alaska." I heard from my brother in Alaska. He was hard of hearing. Talk about corny, huh? Was that cornball? Oh, Hadacol. There was more. There were a lot more, but I can't remember. It's been so long ago. I guess I ought to drink some Hadacol to help my memory. But be that as it may, I am arriving here in Kingsville. I'm not sure which way I want to go here. Let's go this way. I'll go down here. Anyway, what else is going on? I'll tell you what I did yesterday, just for the hell of it. I checked out, I've heard a lot about Twitter, okay, and I had checked it out back in May of this year, and I decided I didn't want to fool with it, and I still don't really. But, since Trump and a lot of other people in politics and stuff use Twitter to basically put out these little sound bites, is what I call them. Actually, it's just Twitter's nothing but a long text. When you do your twit or whatever they call it, tweet, it's just a long text message basically. But some of them put links in their text or tweets, and you can, read interesting news articles and stuff. Well, just out of curiosity, yesterday I went back into my Twitter account and they told me it was suspended. I know why, because I hadn't used it in several months and they just cut me off. But what I did, I signed out and signed back in. And it activated finally. And so I decided I would follow Donald Trump and Newt Gingrich, because right now I get their tweets via the talking heads or on my news page at my Google News site, and I just soon read them for real. Like this morning I read one from Trump that was 29 minutes old and talked about the criticisms they've had on their transition team, which are, in his opinion, are just total crap, which is probably true. The news media has to exaggerate things to get people to watch or buy the product. So that ain't gonna change. Well, it'll change, but it's gonna be gradual. But anyway, so Twitter is interesting. But let me say this: whenever you set up, for you the people that have not set up an account with Twitter, whenever you do, be sure and go into the settings and turn off a lot of that crap. You can read what the settings are, and you'll decide which ones you want to turn on or turn off. I've got all of mine off, I think, except for one, and I can't remember what it is. I don't want reminders, and I don't want people adding me to their group and all that crap. I don't do Facebook and any of that either. So, but anyway, it was just interesting to do them, because it's the new way, folks. You either get on, get off, or get out of the way, because things are changing, and that's just the way that is. So, texts are here, and that's the way people are going to communicate. Now, here comes a Christmas tree down the highway. Don't ask me, it doesn't have a siren on. Sometimes that's a somebody bought that vehicle used, and they may not even know those lights are on. But anyway, Twitter is interesting. I don't think I'll ever do Facebook. I just can't do that one. I know a lot of people do. I know both my sons do, my grandson does, and they've got friends and all that crap. And I just, I don't see any interest in that. You know, some people will tell you, oh, I got thousands of friends on Facebook. Oh, that's bullshit. Anyway, so Facebook's I put an X by, but Twitter I'm going to keep up with that because that way I can see the live feeds from Donald Trump, Newt Gingrich, and whoever I want to add. I may add that guy from, I think he's from Georgia, Trey Gowden, or is that his name? Trey Gowden. I think he's a senator, but he's a pretty sharp guy. And he may be, I'm not sure, he may be the Attorney General, could be. And I wish Trump would hurry up and name his cabinet and get that done, because the more things he gets done, the more bulletproof he becomes. I mean, if they can get to Kennedy, they can damn sure get to him. I mean, they got to more than one Kennedy, damn near all of them. A lot of you may not realize this, but one of the boys supposedly skied into a tree in Aspen and was killed. Brain concussion. You believe in tooth fairy too, don't you? And then one of the boys, John Kennedy Jr., his plane fell out of the air about 10 miles from the airfield, and he died. Well, more tooth fairy stuff. But anyway, the good news is I got me another mattress. I did a video yesterday, so most of you probably didn't watch it. I don't blame you. But it's called a trifold mattress. It cost me $78 delivered. It's 27 inches wide by 75 inches long and 4 inches thick. And it's that memory foam stuff, and you have to lay the mattress out flat for 48 hours till it, becomes 4 inches thick. Two pieces of it are already 4 inches thick, and the part that was rolled the tightest, because they roll it up and put it in a box and ship it to you, and the part that was rolled the tightest, it's coming up. But I think it's going to be fine. It feels good, I have to say that. It has a little odor. All of that foam, for some reason, even those little foam mattress toppers at Walmart, I was going to get one for my little twin size bed that I sleep on, and it has an odor. I don't know what it is, but anyway, I've got it out on the patio today. It'll be nice and warm, a little breezy from the south before this norther gets here, so hopefully that'll air it out and it'll pump up and it'll work out. I mean, it's amazing. I'm ready to go camping. I got me a cooker, and I got me some little pans, and I got popcorn. I got coconut oil coming today. I ordered it from the H-E-B grocery store here in Central Texas. They got a new deal. They're kind of getting into the .com stuff, and you can order stuff to be delivered to your home. Certain products from the grocery store to be delivered. And the first shipment was free, so I ordered a 16-ounce container of organic coconut oil delivered for $3.99. How about that? Organic. Certified organic. Better than that. So we'll see how that works. I'll try to pop some popcorn and we're using my cooker. I'm ready to go, but I ain't got anywhere to go yet. I could go to Quartzsite, but I got Thanksgiving next week with the boys. And then I don't know about Christmas. Christmas, of course, the older you get, it doesn't mean anything anymore, unless if you've got family close around you where you can gather and have a little, kind of like a family reunion. I think that's good. But my family's kind of scattered out. I got some in Victoria, Texas, about a 4 or 5 hour drive. My oldest boy is about an hour away. My youngest boy is about probably 3.5 hours away. My grandson's an hour away. But that's fine. Everybody's doing fine, and I ain't bitching about it. You know, one of the things I was going to check on while I'm cruising around here this morning was garbage sales. I call them garbage sales. Most people call them garage sales. But the reason I call them garbage sales is because that's what it is. They're just getting rid of their garbage. And usually on this street there'll be one. In fact, I think there was one behind me that I passed. I'll go back in a minute and check that dog out. But again, the good news is life is good. Wasn't that a great joke? I'll give you another one. I think I've told you this one before. Came from the same source, old Joe, the publisher of the Shimer Gazette. He told me this is about this this monk joined the monastery. Scratch that, cut. This monk joins a monastery, and part of the rites of passage was you have to take a vow of silence. And he did. They told him that for the first 10 years, couldn't say a word. And after 10 years, he was allowed to say 2 words. Every 10 years, he was allowed to say 2 words. That was his vow of silence. He took that vow very seriously. Anyway, he was in the monastery for 10 years. After the first 10 years, he was called in by the head monk. And the monk says, okay, you've been here 10 years. You can say 2 words. Go ahead. And the guy took a deep breath, looked at the head monk, and he said, bed hard. The monk waved his hand, sent him back out to the gardens. 10 years passed. The guy comes in again to the head monk. Head monk looks at him and says, you've been here 20 years now. You can say 2 more words. The guy looked at the head monk and he says, food, gold. Sent him back out to the gardens and the fields. 10 years passed. 30 years he's been there. He comes in, the head monk looks at him and says, okay, you've been here 30 years, you can say 2 more words. And the guy looked at him and he says, I quit. And the head monk says, we knew it. You've been a constant complainer since you've been here. Anyway, thumbs up, carpe diem, adios from Central Texas, USA. Bye, 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 American made. Take deep breaths, drink plenty of water. Bye, 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 bye.